Let's do some Exeter. And I am GMAC. In fact, I watched his one for The Rock just today, and I thought it was excellent. It was actually on Drinker's Extra Shots, but I still enjoy it. Yeah, I still have my hardcover of Jurassic Park downstairs. It's in my studio as a part of my setup, Zath. Anyways, one of the fundamental themes of the book, right, is the ongoing dialogue between Malcolm and Hammond. Of course, Malcolm is brought into the story, brought into the island by the Gennaro, who represents the investors, right? So he hires Ian Malcolm to come in, and Malcolm is already aware of what's supposed to be going on now. They've already hired him before. They talk about this in the book. He's consulted on the project previously and told them he thinks that they're insane. But over the course of the middle third and back third of the novel, Hammond and Malcolm have some very, very important discussions, conversations, almost just the two of them, as Malcolm is injured and they're like trying to save his life. And what a lot of that is where the central themes of the book are captured, right? Crichton makes it very clear, as if, I'll get to this in a minute, but he makes it very clear that he believes mankind's belief that they have the power to control nature is absolute folly and arrogance, right? Malcolm almost basically my God, it's a New York convention. Who invited all these guys? Jeez. Malcolm explicitly says it a couple of times, right? But it is fascinating reading because, Hammond gets into all these stories about, what happens if there's a nuclear war? And Malcolm's like, So we kill ourselves. Do you seriously think the planet is not going to survive? It survived worse. It'll survive us. And when you view the story through that lens, for me, that was a big deal, right? Because that was an era not long towards the end of the Cold War, right? I grew up in an era where as a child in elementary and through most of junior high, where the idea of nuclear war, nuclear holocaust was still a thing. And so the approach that, you always hear, white will destroy the planet. Well, no, actually you won't. You'll destroy humanity, right? We'll kill ourselves. We would kill millions of other living things, but the planet would still be here, right? It would glow for a few thousand years, and eventually in another few thousand or a few millennia, it would recover and something else would go on. And that's the point that Crichton keeps making, is that as a species, we view some of these things through the wrong lens. We're going to save the planet. No, stop. That argument is garbage. Let's try and save us, right? Can we save us first? Because the planet is going to go on whether we're here or not. As a 12-year-old, that really made an impact on me. That really formed a non-zero amount of the thinking that I kind of developed as I got older. And I still approach a lot of things through that lens. Which is, I'm not saying, this is good or this is bad or whatever, but the bottom line is, stop talking about saving the planet and worry about saving humanity, because that's what it's really about.
Welcome to Jurassic Park.
Come on, guns. I want to catch this emerald while I can spot him. He's going to hate that salvo. Yep. He's going to hate that salvo. Hang on. Come on. All right. Switch back to the HE. Stingray. Yes. So I heard Carlin's. So that was 1990. I read Jurassic Park. 93, the film came out. 1995, I got to college. And when I got to school, I met a wonderful man. Was just my age at the time, an 18-year-old kid, but from Kentucky. He introduced me to George Carlin, who, growing up as a sheltered Southern Baptist, is not someone I would have ever heard in my own home. My wife is laughing. But he introduced me to Carlin. Particularly whatever Carlin's latest album, which had like the airline announcement skit on it, and it had the bit about save the planet, right? Climate change and all that stuff. And that was exactly his point, which was, you guys are making the wrong argument. Stop worrying about trying to save the planet. Start worrying about trying to save each other. And it's a theme that I have seen recurred in more than one of the science fiction works that I have read in the years since. Straczynski touches on it several times in Babylon 5 along the way. It's a very powerful message, in my opinion. And it absolutely colors how I look at the world and certain things. I think I pissed off the closest New York. That's going to be my last salvo for a bit. I want to see if I can get him to blunder into some of those torpedoes. Looks like maybe no. Oh, he's going to take one, I think. Oh, they all ran out. Oh, he was too slow. Too slow. Is there a book form of Babylon 5? There is not. There is not. You got to watch it. It is essentially a television novel, if that makes you feel any better, right? Babylon 5 is essentially a long-form novel filmed on television rather than printed on paper.
Our team has taken the lead.
Oh, Justin, it's excellent, and it's available on HBO Max. It's the sort of thing that I've gotten to where, like, when I'm downstairs working on paint, I'll throw it on the television monitor in the studio, right, and watch it down there. All right, I got another New York to deal with. Let's load the AP and crush the Murmansk. I need to not die. Okay, good. He's not looking at me. Excellent. Hi, Murmansk. You don't frighten me in the least, sir. You don't frighten me at all, son. I have heels and you do not. And that alone means that you don't scare me at all. Yeah, I know, Chaser. It's a shame. But, you know, he's JMS, you know, they're supposed to be doing this reboot or whatever they're doing, and it's fine. It's cool. They'll get there. All right, let's finish off this other New York here.
Our victory is in sight.
You know, Zath, I'm the same way. I went through this thing with B5 not long ago when I discovered it was on HBO, right? It had been on Amazon for a while. And over the years, since I first watched Babylon 5, I got to where I would rewatch it starting at Season 2, and I would basically just skip Season 1 altogether. I think last summer or the summer before, I was like, you know what, I'll just watch the whole thing again. So I started from the very beginning. And you know what I discovered? Season 1 was way better than I remembered. For years, I had dismissed Season 1 as like, this was not very good. Is it uneven? Yeah, it's uneven, but it's not nearly as bad as my brain remembered. So yeah, I hear you. I hear you. If for a first-timer, I bet Season 1 is still a challenge. There's a lot going on that you don't understand at first, right? Little things, little seeds that JMS plants that don't flower in some cases for 2 more years, right? That you have to... And to their credit, they go back and they show you little flashbacks of things, right? But like even the very first episode comes up again in Season 3. Right? They do such a great job with it. Yeah, they lay a lot of groundwork, and some of it is subtle, and you don't recognize it at first. And like I said, the payoff is years later, but it is very, very, very well done. Well, the foreshadowing and the characters, the recurring characters, oh, just so good. Oh no, Chaser, that the middle of Season 3, right? The episode arc that starts with messages from Earth and ends with Severed Dreams is some of the best television ever made, right? It's fabulous. Fabulous.